Battlegrounds season is over. Hello everybody, welcome to a bit of a recap video, a bit of an interesting one I think from my perspective because I'm going to be going over the season. I had to stop grinding. I finished grinding because obviously I reached the 450,000 mark, 50k more on the solo event than last time. Last time they did a big grind like this, season 9, you had to do 400k. This time was 450k. Of course, from Alliance perspective, we set like everybody had to achieve a certain amount, which was I think the 450k or the 400k. But look, it had to be done. I've got no qualms about that. That's part of like being with the Alliance. You know, we do these things because it's all about elevating people within it. It's all about teamwork, and that's a very important thing. But I must admit, this particular season, I felt very stressed out, and that's something, and kind of made me feel a little bit burnt out as well at the same time. And that's something, you know, I've always tried to like manage within MCOC. I think more so when it becomes like I'm intensely farming units and have to completely stop in order to reinvest that time to get this particular stuff done. It just adds more stress, especially because a lot of the free time with content videos that I want to make, I feel like I've kind of gone away from that time that I wanted to make, you know, more interesting videos to cover more interesting subjects and topics. I've just been kind of like, I've had to scrap them because I get very limited time because I work during the day and then we do the YouTube channel stuff in the evenings and weekends. So that's kind of like a bit of a pain point there. But it was also interesting listening to and kind of reading stuff from the community. So to give you an idea, like I saw on Twitter, like Ryan said that he was, you know, finding it a bit annoying because he was getting into losing streaks within stuff like Gladiator Circuit, and that of course is a very frustrating thing because if you're looking to get the last amount of points, that is becoming an issue. And it's a pain point that I had as well, where I found that I reached Gladiator Circuit with no problem, which is great. I'm really happy about that because I really thought I wouldn't make it into Gladiator Circuit, and I made it, and I was just like, this is great, fantastic news. The problem is I reached there by about 200 and something thousand points, and then hit what's the word? It's like when runners you have what is it? Like you hit the wall, right? And I hit the wall, and the problem with hitting the wall is I know like disrespect from it. I just got bored, and that's a problem. I was really happy to see this, you know, getting the Guillotine Deathless 7-star piece, and you know, as I said, I'm really happy about that. I got that, but I reached a pain point in my own personal feeling towards something, and it's tough because a lot of the time you can't necessarily say, oh, I'm bored. Okay, well, you don't have to do it, Rich. You just take a break. No, unfortunately, those particular milestones, if I said no to those milestones, it's like, as a non-spending player, what am I saying no to? And at that particular time, as I said, I got at 200k, I was in Gladiator Circuit. Things went better than I thought with using Elder Marks. And again, like looking at the milestones, like, when you hit 200k, what's at 200k? Well, or 225k, maybe it's something like that. Maybe I'm being a bit like, you know, most of the better rewards come from milestone 16, 325k onwards. And should I be saying no to an abyss level Nexus? Like, no, because that could give me the Nick Fury that I'm looking for. Well, I chose skill, but I could have chosen a different way and potentially get another, you know, champion that I really want. And saying no to Titan Crystal Shards, like, I can't say no to them. I'm at a point where I haven't done Karina's challenges yet, and I haven't done this month's Paragon, but we're getting a new Titan Crystal pool next month, so it makes more sense for me to kind of hoard that. And saying no to that and not doing that is kind of like, I don't think is a wise idea from a non-spending player. So effectively, I had my arm twisted, and it was like, you kind of have to do it to a degree. I'm sure people will disagree with that, but as I said, for me, I currently feel like I'm not, well, I kind of feel I'm being forced to do stuff in game that maybe I don't necessarily like doing. I mean, why do I, so some other stuff, again, I haven't done this video on this subject. Why do I feel that? You know, I feel like I have to do Alliance War in general. I've got no qualms about this, but I just feel that, you know, as I'm in an alliance that's doing Alliance War and Season, it makes more sense because it's like, well, I've got to buy the 7-star loyalty crystal. Actually, do I have enough? No, I'm really close to it. So it's like, well, do you say no to that, or do you go and do it? Like, do Alliance War at least to like a certain sort of competitive element, like, you know, gold 1 or platinum 4, or, you know, further up the spectrum. The same way it's like, look, I've got to find more time to do incursions. Why is that so much of an importance? Well, it's the incursion artifact crystal. Like, I need to get that because there's some champions within it that are going to be good for Battlegrounds. It all about recycling back into the grind. Again, I don't want to get bogged down with that because there is positives. I'm really happy that I got to this particular gladiator circuit. But as I said, it's interesting listening to and reading things from the community as to like the pressures they feel. I was having a conversation with my cousin who plays the game, and he was like saying, because we went to see the Marvels together, and he was saying that one of the big things was that he's a dad of 3. He works during the day, and then in the you know, you're after work. It's just like, it's just kids. It's like, you know, and it's like, you know, it's wife. You know, you want to be as like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm playing on the game. Well, you should be prepping the lunch boxes for tomorrow. Like, you know, and like doing cooking and things like all the stuff that, you know, a lot of us do. It's just trying to find the time for a lot of this. And I've seen a lot of people that are, you know, just about scraping to kind of get into these particular areas. I don't know if Kabam will ever kind of like address the pain points, because look, I don't think it's some people, like, you know, speak down to people like this, you know, CRC, whatever his name there. Interesting just reading this, because he says that I'm less developed Paragon player. I have no rank 5s or rank 2s, but I'm relatively decent at the game. I was hoping that my skill level would offset that and allow me to snag a Deathless piece, and I'm also totally on track for that, getting through each tier 5 to 10. And then I got the Vibranium 2 roughly 80 matches later. I have made no progress at all. I've been on constant cycle of winning and losing, no matter how well I play. My natural roster limit was just here. And look, this is again pain points. There's pain points for people. I feel for people, I really do. As I said, I don't consider myself, you know, as the years have gone on, you know, I'm not getting any younger. My reaction time is getting a little bit kind of like worse for the game, and also my tolerance of kind of going, I need to update my devices is something I'm just not willing to do, especially if it's a case like this has to be my own sole game. I don't think it's particularly fair on the player base to go, hey, by the way, you have to upgrade your device to get smooth running of the game. But this is always very interesting to find out where other people's pain points are. And as I said, maybe I'm kind of like talking about my own problems in a kind of a weird way. Like maybe it's a case like other people don't share my kind of pain points and problems. But, you know, obviously, as I said, positives for me is I did it. I'm happy I did it. But it wasn't the case. It was smooth. It was smooth sailing to a degree. It's just the case that Gladiator Circuit was at a point where I just don't want to be excessively grinding this mode. I was just getting bored, and that's not right. That's not the right kind of like mentality to have. It's just a case of like, when you feel, as I said, if I ever feel forced to do something, I never really enjoy it. And you might be saying, well, you do the MCN, you do this in your life. You do. I mean, there's a difference, isn't there? You can change the way that you normally do it. And I tried to do it at Battlegrounds, kind of choose different champions to field as attackers. A lot of the time it would be a case, I tried less frequently to use the champions like Archangel and Human Torch, which, you know, for this meta, that was good. It was nice to spice it up. But it doesn't take away from the fact that all the same defenders were posted, your Mangogs. I think I could probably go back and find a lot of the same champions, just like copy paste on repeat when it come to defenders. But yeah, I mean, when it becomes repetitive. The same thing that I'm not a massive fan of, you know, long form content with things. Anyway, bugs. Kabam haven't dealt with a lot of bugs. Cheaters wise, they haven't really dealt with a lot of cheaters, and when they do deal with them, it's kind of like, you know, towards the end of the month. And again, that's something that just kind of sucks the fun. Seeing this, you know, and losing fights is just not cool. And this has been a year now, so I don't know why these bugs haven't been properly addressed. I hope for the best in the future for that to be dealt with, but we'll have to see. You know, and that's the thing, because it's like comes up as like you forfeited. Like I'm not forfeiting a game on this. It's like, it's just annoying when you come to these moments and it's like you forfeited. Like, no, it's like just come, and then it like comes up with that, and I'm like, it's just not cool. It's not cool at all. It's very unenjoyable, if anything. But in any case, I've had some kind of like good matchups that are really fun and really enjoyable. This is a kind of a good example. This is one of the recent ones here in Uru 3, where I use a Angela, Titania. Actually, yeah, those two champions are Angela, Titania, and Kingpin. 3 fantastic champions that I used in this particular mode. Really enjoyed using those. So thumbs up, fantastic. And yeah, this was a bit of a clutch. Well, I say clutch fight. It's like a lot of the time it's like it's not down to, you know, I know that previous person was talking about, you know, skill. But at the end of the day, this is like you can make mistakes or, I mean, not make mistakes. Sometimes it's all about pace. What we learned as well from the Battlegrounds Brawl is sometimes it's not about perfection in the way you play a champion. It's all about knowing the interaction. So the way that I won here was time. Time saved me right here and scraped me a win. But also knowing the fact that what Angela did with that interaction with a particular quest, you know, getting a regeneration buff, being very good and aggressive on the front foot, and having a good choice of relic can sometimes be that deciding factor to kind of get you to the W. Look, it didn't happen all the time. I did take some very spectacular losses. But again, this is the problem when it came into Uru. I was just like, I just got really, I got bored, and that's a problem. As I said, you know, to get that level of boredom, that came in. I think as well the stress of trying to hit 450k in a very short space of time became problematic because I was like panic playing. And maybe that's on me. Maybe that's me. Maybe I'm projecting some stuff that's incorrect. But at the same time, as I said, you know, you can feel that you're kind of pressured. Also, King Groot was a fun little addition. I used King Groot a few times that just kind of picked up some very unusual wins, I must admit. There we go. So this was a good example here, like King Groot ending on good conditions, and it was nice to kind of like have these good conditions, you know, met, and that was fun. So there were some fun things from the season. You mix the rough with the smooth. It was one of these things where some things I liked about it, some things I didn't, and yeah, I ended in Uru 3, and as I said, it was one of these things where it was going really well, and then I kind of like just plateaued and just got embroiled with the stress, the pain points, and just felt a bit frustrated. But anyway, how was your season? How did it go? Put it in the comment section down below. Did it go good, bad, or ugly? And yeah, check out some other content located on screen, and I'll see you all soon. Much love and goodbye for now.